Tom Izzo, welcome to the Seth Davis Show. Always good to be with you in this very locker room. Is this the locker room that when you gave the pep talk for the media and we all played, was that in this locker room?
That was in this one. That was about the first year it was here. So it's great to be on your show and watching your success.
Thank you, Tom. So you've been to 6 Final Fours. You've won a national championship. You got all the money you need. You got more job security than any coach anywhere. So what is it at this stage of your career, Tom, in your life that motivates you, that drives you, that still gets you really angry after a loss or makes you work really hard to get better?
Well, I've had a couple of things that have had a great impact on my life. You know, I grew up in Iron Mountain, Michigan, me and Mariucci, and we were 95 miles from Green Bay, and Vince Lombardi when I was a real little kid, and so you read all his books and how he was. Then we won the national championship, and I got a chance to meet John Wooden because I had 2 guys that were Wooden Award candidates. First time I met John Wooden, and I remember a funny story is I went out there and he said, well, Tom Izzo, welcome to the fraternity of 40. And I looked around, he had all his great players behind him at the event, and I was thinking, man, what's this guy talking about, you know? Fraternities, what are you talking about? And Bill Walton was there, and I said, Bill, what is the fraternity of 40? You don't know what the fraternity of 40 is? No. He said, there's 40 of you guys that have won a national championship. So I went from 5'9", 5'10" to 6'8". I was feeling so good and so fired up, and I said, wow, there's only 40 guys that went in. And then Bill tapped me on the shoulder. He said, now remember, Tom, John has won 10 of them. And I shrunk back down to about, 3'5", and I was, so I was excited and humbled at the same moment. And, what drives me now is to get into that smaller fraternity, because winning 2 or a university winning 3 puts you in a much smaller. And I always say, your guy at your alma mater, he keeps winning national championships. He's got 4 of them. And I always tell Mike that drives me. It should drive you. I mean, I look at guys, whether it be Belichick or Saban or, Krzyzewski, guys, even Billy Donovan's won a couple now. And that's what drives me, is getting the program into, even more elite status. And
you are who you are, right? I mean, no matter how much you accomplish, no matter how many times you win it, you always want to win the next one.
Yeah, I think you do. And the John Wooden thing made me realize that I ain't done nothing yet. There's a long way to go to really do some special things. And I think every good coach, even decent coach, is always looking to get better. And the neat thing about staying in the same place a long time, I wanted to get better for me, for my players, for my university, and for my community. That's the advantage of staying in the same place. It's different than just bopping around. And that's why this has been home. But there's so many people I want to win another one for. It's not just me or the program.
So bottom line, is this a national championship team?
I think it has the potential to be. I really do. I think we have 4 very, very good players. I think we have 2 backup that are almost 6 starters in Valentine and Trice that have played very well for us. Our center position's a little up in the air, but I can think of a lot of teams that have the same issues right now. And I think in Payne, we have a good guy that can go inside and outside. We don't have that true center yet. So it has, now that Appling has really raised his game a couple notches, it's as good as a lot of teams I've had that have gotten the Final Fours. But as you know, got to be good enough, get to a Sweet 16, then you got to be kind of lucky to move on.
You mentioned the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, where you grew up, and I can never get enough of hearing you talk about that time in your life, because it's such a unique way to come up and a special way to come up. And I go back to when you started working at a very young age at the family business, which was Izzo Shoe Hospital, right?
Yes.
So whatever anyone says about your coaching, you can fix a shoe. Am I right?
Fix a shoe. I can put a zipper in your coat. I can lay carpeting in your living room. And yeah, I'm a kind of a jack of all trades guy, master of none. But
you were working at 12 years old. You started
yeah.
working there, so that's going to instill in you a work ethic at a young age, right?
It did. My grandfather was 90, still working at the shop. My father and my uncle owned it, and you know, there were, I think, 17 grandchildren that worked there, and I think like 13 great-grandchildren eventually that worked there. So it was kind of neat, and I had, you know, just working parents, and my dad and my uncles and my grandfather. That's what you did, and it was good. You know, I look back on that, and between that and working for Judd Heathcote, you know, he still tells me I should take more days off, and I keep telling him I had a bad mentor, you know, because he never let me take any days off, and we joke about it, but hey, that's what you do, you know, you work.
But, and it seems to me the twin pillars were set at that time in your life, family and work. You work real hard, you're around people you care about, and that's really all there is to it.
You know, it really is. I don't have a lot of vices. I mean, I like to play a little golf, but I don't do much. I'm not a big gambler, traveler. I don't do any of those things. So it's kind of like my family's so involved in my job because that's the only time you get to see your family a lot. And they sacrifice a lot, but they get some benefits too. But I think at the end of the day, when you're missing your kid's basketball game or your daughter's soccer game or something that your wife's doing, you know, it never replaces it. But when you go to Final Fours or to Maui or to Atlantis or here and there, it makes it a little better.